Hey class, so I'm going to be doing the nitrite polyatomic ion structure, the Lewis structure. Okay, so I've got nitrogen, 2 oxygens, and this polyatomic ion has a -1 charge up here. So very first step, if you guys want to follow along with the steps, you can on page 161, but I'm going to kind of zip through them so I have a short video to upload. So first step, I've got 1 nitrogen, and I'm going to multiply that by the number of valence electrons that nitrogen has. If you look on the periodic table, it's in group 15, which tells me that it has 5 valence electrons. Oxygen, I've got 2 of those guys, and oxygen has 6 valence electrons. So I'm going to add those up, which gives me 17, right? The very first step is telling you how many electrons you have available to work with. So I have 17 here, but remember, this guy up here, we have an extra electron because this has a -1 charge, and electrons have a negative charge. So I've got an extra 1 to work with. Plus 1 equals 18. So I have 18 electrons to work with. Step 2, I'm going to find out how many electrons I need to make everybody happy in their full outer shell. So nitrogen, I know he needs 8. Oxygen, remember there's 2 of them. I know he needs 8. So I have a total of 24. My next step is step 3. We're going to take how many we need, subtract how many we have available, which gives me 6, and divide by 2. That's going to tell me how many bonds we're going to be using. So this guy's going to have 3 bonds. All right, I'm going to erase this because I have a small board. And then I'm going to continue. So my least electronegative is going to be nitrogen, so that one's going to go in the center for me. And I'm going to surround my other 2 atoms, which are oxygen. Remember, I've got 3 bonds, and there were 18? Yeah, there were 18 valence electrons to work with. So I'm going to do a bond here and a bond here. Wait a minute, though. I've got an extra bond. Where do I put it? Do I put it here? No. Remember, you're only going to be putting the bonds with the central atom, okay? So since these 2, I mean, gosh, each of them have 6 valence electrons. Now it has 7. What do I do? So technically, we're going to be learning about this in future chapters, but I'm going to put it on one of them. And the other one I'm going to use just have a single bond, okay? So now I have my 3 bonds. This right here is called a resonance structure, and we're going to learn about that, like I said, in future chapters. But basically, that double bond doesn't just stay here. It's going to kind of flip back and forth and spend time with each of these oxygens. But we're just going to, for ease of purpose, just draw it with one of them right now, okay? So we're going to then draw our unpaired electrons. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 for nitrogen, and then oxygen has 2, 4, 6, 8. This oxygen has 2, 4, 6, and then 8. So whenever this bond is going to jump over to this oxygen, this guy will pick up the unpaired electrons. So it's called a resonance structure. It's going to go back and forth. So let me know if you guys have any questions. This right here is going to complete our nitrite polyatomic ion structure. Don't forget the brackets and the charge.